really wanted to get one, go over there for some business stuff, but also too as well for football wise. I really kind of wanted to just get over there. I knew I was going to play over there. Obviously, this weekend, excited to get over there and just get a feel for where everything was and everything else.
What was it like adjusting to the massive time difference?
The time change isn't too bad. It's 8 hours, I believe it is. So I think that I'll check on that, 7 or 8 hours. I think it's 8 hours, right? So I think that in terms of the time change, it's not crazy drastic. Once you get into that 12 plus range, that's when it really hits you even worse. But I think the key is we'll get there. I don't know, around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we'll have practice and kind of stay up and keep moving, and then hopefully get to bed early and get some nice long rest once we get there and move on from there.
Did you go to Wembley or did you just tour the Tottenham Stadium?
I went to Tottenham, but I didn't get to go to Wembley. But I thought we were playing there. But unfortunately, we're playing at Wembley. But it's exciting because it's so much history there. So I'm excited about that. So I'm excited to play in Wembley. There's so many obviously great matchups and games that have been played there, from soccer to other sports as well. And then one thing I noticed about the National Football League, the NFL, and just Seahawks fans in general, is there's so much energy there. I mean, there's just the emphasis around football in London and Europe in general. It's just growing. So it's an exciting time, and excited to be playing there, in London, and hopefully come up with a big game.
Russell, obviously seeing beast mode on the other side of that, that's to be real exciting for you.
Yeah, Marshawn is, he's a tremendous football player. He was a great teammate. He's a guy who made a lot of plays, and just he has real grit. He really can find ways to make plays. Like, sometimes, one of the coolest things about Marshawn is when you hand the ball off to him, you get to, watch him run. Some of the moves that he makes, and just he's one of a kind, in terms of that ability. And so I have a lot of respect and love for him.
Favorite Marshawn run from your time?
Man, we had one in Arizona. The one in Arizona, it was probably third, fourth quarter, something like that, and we were backed up, and I believe he took it to the house, if I remember right. And it was kind of like the big run he had here in the playoff game. So that was a pretty amazing run. He's had so many other great plays too. The thing about Marshawn too is he can really catch the ball. He's physical. Obviously running the football. He's smart as can be, in terms of protections and everything else. He's rock solid in that, and he'll lay it on the line every play. So that's what you love about him.
What did it mean to have him behind you in the backfield?
Well, I think first of all, to play with such a great player and so many other great players, and just guys that love the game, and love winning, love doing everything that we could to play at the highest level. I think that with Marshawn, to play with him, my first few years, and just be around him, and just think about what he meant to our team and everything else. He was a great football player, and some players you can never forget, and he's one of those guys.
What about as a teammate in the locker room? He's so well respected by guys who play with him. But what's kind of your memory of him in that?
Well, Marshawn and I, we were, we were always, I think, close in the sense that, he's never want to talk too much, around me necessarily. But we also talked a lot about, life and ball and everything else, and I think that he had a lot of wisdom, in the sense of just how to do things. And he was such a great team player, he would do whatever it takes, and those are the things that I remember the most, he was always laughing, he was always relaxed, he was always poised. He always knew how to play the game and play the game the right way.
What's the funniest thing he ever said in a huddle that you can remember?
I'm not sure if I can say those things. So I'll pass on that one.
Speaking of running backs in the running game, you guys really had it go in the last few weeks. What does that do for the offense as a whole?
Say that one more time.
The running backs, just getting Chris and Mike going. What does that do for the offense?
I think the cool part about our running backs right now, they can do it all. They really can. Think about, and I think that this has always been the case. What I believe is that how you prepare and how you practice and how you visualize the game is what's going to happen in the game. And I think that guys like Chris Carson, he's going to be a star in this league. He can make so many plays, and he's so physical. At the point of attack, he can catch really well. He does his protections. He's on point with his protections as well. And Mike Davis, he's a playmaker. Guys that make so many plays time in and time out. He's one of my favorite guys to play with, just by how he plays the game. And he loves the game. I think that we have a good stable of running backs that can really make a lot of plays. And I think that it starts with the offensive line. The offensive line doing a tremendous job of run blocking. And, from obviously Dwayne Brown at left tackle, Sweets is doing a tremendous job and so physical. Justin Britt is doing a tremendous job playing, as good as it gets. You got DJ Fluker, who's a monster out there just dominating people. You got a Fetty too as well, who's dominating people, and just the physicality that we're playing with. And then in addition to that, here come some stallions running the football that can really make a lot of plays. And so that's the exciting part.
How have you seen Rashad Penny kind of respond to, kind of taking a backseat a little bit to Chris and Mike?
Well, I think Penny's been great. He's been great in the meetings. He's always, is alert in the meetings. He's always, talking, just paying attention and just ready. He's always asking questions. He stayed the same. I think that consistency is key. And you always want to be consistent, especially in your first year. You just want to be continually be consistent in your approach and how you approach the game. I think he's a tremendous competitor and wants to be great. And he's going to continue to develop and just be a great football player for our football team. And I look forward to seeing many years of him scoring a lot of touchdowns. That's for sure.
You didn't have a single run in that game last week for the first time in your career. Just sort of the way things went, or
yeah, definitely the way things went. I mean, I think that I'm never really trying, and this has always been the case. I'm never really trying to look to run on the ball. We don't, I think that especially with our running backs, doing such a great job of running the football. There's a time and place. And so. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. I think some teams, they want to, overplay. Obviously me running it too sometimes too. So that's part of their game plan, and we'll let the running backs do their thing. So I think that in terms of the zone, we definitely call it zone reads. If that's the question kind of idea. You're definitely calling stuff. It's just not there. So, and it's not there just because of how they're playing it, which is fine. Because we're rushing for 190 yards or whatever it is. So that's a good thing.
Did the attention that they were paying to you on those zone reads, did that open things up elsewhere?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's it's give and take. You got to make a decision, and that's what makes it so tough. You got to kind of make a decision on pick and choose and how you want to defend it. Because there's big plays if there's big potential plays if I pull it, because usually there's only one person over there or maybe nobody, and then inside we're running so with such great physicality with our offensive line. It's tough, because we're gonna gash them that way, hopefully, just in general. So I think that's the good thing about the zone read game and just us, being able to maneuver and make great things happen.
You got some big plays off of play action on Sunday, and it also seems to neutralize the pass rush a little bit. So what was working so well in the play action game?
Well, I think we have tremendous receivers. They know how to get open, and Doug and Tyler and so many other guys. They play with them for so long. Those two guys in particular. They really see things really well. I think for us, we want to be able to attack the defense through running the football, but we also want to attack them in the passing game too as well. And how you do that is mixing it up. And I think that through our play action game, it's always been great, for years. And I think that to be able to, Coach Schottenheimer's doing a tremendous job of calling those plays and dialing them up. And when they're there, we take it. If it's not, we got great running backs coming out of the backfield. We got guys underneath, and it's just really good stuff. So it's really hard because they got to make a decision. Do they come up and try to tackle our running backs, or next thing you know, Doug Baldwin or Tyler Lockett or Brandon Marshall or Jaron Brown or David Moore, but maybe running right by somebody. So that's always a good thing for us.
What do you think of the two tight end set with George Fant in there? How'd that work with you guys?
I think George is extremely athletic. First of all, he's a great competitor. He's a great athlete. He can see things, and I thought he did a tremendous job in the game against a very, very good defense last week. And so, for us, I think the fact that he has so much versatility, he can play left tackle, play right tackle, he can play tight end, and do a lot of great things there. So, he's they say in the NFL, the more you can do, the longer you'll stay. I think that's just kind of a NFL kind of locker room kind of thing, and he's one of those guys that he can do it all. And so it's exciting to have a guy like that, just tremendous athlete and loves the game and loves being a great player.
Anything else? Thanks, Russ.
Thank you guys. Go Hawks. See you guys in London.